Hey guys, George at SoundTraxx here. This week we're back at the workbench because today I'm very excited. We've got our brand new Blunami BLU-1100s. They're back on the shelf, and I'm really excited about this because some of you guys may remember that I did my Western Atlantic General. That this is a old American 440. You can see the locomotive here. This is the model I did a while back. And it has a TSU 1100 and a current keeper and two cube speakers actually built inside of the tender. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to pop that out. We're going to install a Blunami 1100 so I can get back to running my trains again. Ever since the Blunami 1100 comes out, DCC just doesn't quite do the same. So really excited about this. So I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to upgrade a TSU 1100 to a Blunami 1100. So I'm going to move the camera and we're going to get started. Okay guys, I'm here at the workbench and we're going to go ahead and pop the shell off of this. I'm going to show you how quick and easy this is. Now, I've already unplugged the 6-wire connector between the loco and tender, and the drawbar is just a loose drawbar, so that just fits over the pin. So we're going to go ahead and show you how easy this is. So I've got my screwdriver, and on these, this is the Bachmann new tooling, by the way. Just want to make sure that you know that. And so there's two screws, one on each front corner of the tender, and we just reach in there with a screwdriver and we take these out. Okay, that's one. Then here comes number two. So when those screws fall out, they're not very big. You can see they're kind of small here, so we want to make sure we set those in a proper way. Now the tender shell just pops right off because there's two tabs on the back here you can kind of see, and that's what needs to be. This thing hasn't been opened in a few years. So I'm going to get my small screwdriver. I'm going to kind of reach here in the corner. There it goes. Just need a little coaxing, that's all. So the tender shell comes up. You can see that we've got our decoder and the current keeper and two of our mini cube 3s crammed into this tight space in here. Now, to do this installation, I've done some videos on this in the past. What I did is I took out the original circuit board and just wired direct to the decoder, so that way I can have full control of the lights and the control and different resistor values and so forth. And on the headlight, in order to make it a little dimmer, I have a 7.5 or 7.5K resistor to really knock down the brightness of it. And then for the firebox, yes, I added a firebox light. I put a 1,000 ohm resistor in there so that you can easily see it. So we're just going to simply pull this decoder out just like this, and it's just going to come right out. Now the cool thing is that conversion to do the Blunami, all we have to do is free up these plugs. Now I realize there's a lot attached to this, but what we're going to want to do is we want to free up the plugs, and so to do that we just use a little bit of the X-Acto knife here, and we just trim the insulation back just a little bit. And you want to be careful not to cut those wires, because if you accidentally cut those wires, then you may have to just reinstall or redo the full installation. But as long as you trim back just enough here to reveal the plug here, you're going to see that now. I'm going to get my cutters, because it's a loop here, you can kind of see it's a loop. So I'm just going to reach in here and cut it into, open it up so that it makes sure there's no wires in there. And then we can just pull this away. Just like that. And now this 4-wire harness, and you want to be very careful when unplugging it. Just like that, it just pulls up. So now we're going to do the same thing to the front harness here. And again, you want to be very careful not to cut the wires off of the end here. So you're going to go along the top of the plug harness here and go down the sides to the front of the circuit board. Just like that. And then now technically we could come in here and just kind of peel it out a little bit. We can cut it. Again, you want to make sure there's no wires involved. And that'll peel this insulation back. And then we can just simply pull the harness out, and then we can finish trimming this off so we have a nice clean edges of the insulation, which only matters if you're reselling the decoder. If you're going to put it in something else, it's nice to have it clean and cut in that way. So now we're going to take my new Blunami 1100, and essentially we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to do this again. We're going to trim this insulation back. And like I said, the biggest thing is we want to make sure that we do not cut the wires, because if we want to reuse those on that TSU 1100 we took out, then so we're going to just peel this back, and you can see it just comes right out. Now we're going to do the same thing to the front harness here. Just going to trim the insulation just like that. And then again, you can do this, you can come along the edge. Like I said, you just want to be very careful, make sure you don't cut any of the wires, because if you cut the wires, then your harness is no good. So, insulation is trimmed, harness is unplugged, and there you go. So now this Blunami is ready to be plugged in, and guess what? That's all there is to it. Now for the Tsunami 2, you can see this is the Tsunami 2. This is a white shrink wrap one. Over the years, the purple wasn't always available, so we could get the white short notice to be able to get it done. So anyway, now we're just going to simply plug in the harness, and then we're going to plug in the 4-wire harness on the back. And there you go. Now we just tuck it back in. Now, one thing you'll note here is I have some weight back here trying to help compensate for the fact that I removed some of the weight out of the tender to make this fit. So we're just going to tuck this back in. And the Bluetooth chip is actually here on top, right here. You can kind of see it through the shrink. So I'm going to put that towards the top of the decoder, of the inside of the tender here. And it just fits right in. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, make sure those back tabs get into place, snap this down on the body, just like that. And there we go. Now we'll just replace those 2 screws, which, as I said, they are very small, so you want to keep track of those. And that's all we got to do. So now we tighten in our screw. And there we go. Installation's done. Now we've converted the General from a Tsunami 2 to a Blunami. So I'm going to plug these back in together, just like this. If I can get my fingers to cooperate. This just presses in. I'm just trying to hold both of them in a way that they're visible for the camera. And then we take our drawbar and we put that on there, and then we lay down the deck plate. Now the locomotive's ready to go. So now what I'm going to do, take this, move this out of the way, Let me get my piece of track. Nope. These pilot wheels are a little tough sometimes. All right, it's on. Now, move this stuff out of the way. And over here in the corner, I've got just a power pack, just to power it up. So before I turn this on, I got to get my second camera, which is my iPhone, which has the app on it, so we can test run it and make sure everything's looking good. So with that, I'll be right back. Okay guys, here I am. I've got my app here in front of me. We got our locomotive on the track. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the power supply. And you can hear the locomotive power up. So we're going to hit scan. There's our Blunami. And we can go into standard here. And it's going to go ahead and immediately go through and read all the CVs just to make sure. And you can see we have our locomotive working, and I think I am off the track, but there we go. So we got our locomotive working. I'm going to turn on the headlight, and you can see that headlight's nice and bright on there, but we're going to fix all of that. And some of you guys have seen how I've done some of the stuff in the past, so I'm not going to worry too much about it right this minute. I've done some videos talking about how I've set some of this stuff up, so if you guys want to go back and check that out, and we'll go from there. But the point of this video is to show you how quick and easy it is to upgrade from a TSU 1100 to a Blunami 1100. So guys, I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to get this thing back into the rotation and take it out and run it on some layouts. So hopefully we'll see you guys out in the circuit. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.